Hello, this is Gray Hughes. Today I'm doing a video update on April Tinsley. There's been a few different interviews that have come out, and I'd like you to see especially one with the brother of this barbarian killer. All right, so I'm going to show you those videos. They come from the FortWayneNBC Facebook page, and let's take a look at those videos right now.
Hey guys, I'm Caitlin Kendall alongside Corinne Rose and Jeff Neumeier, who's working on his stuff right now. We're talking about the April Tinsley case. We heard new developments yesterday. They do have a suspected suspect in.
By the way, the offset of their voices at this point was something that was actually on the Facebook page itself. So I apologize for that.
Police custody. Talk a little bit about who you talked to today and let them know what you uncovered today, Corinne.
Absolutely. Well, 59-year-old John Miller has been arrested and preliminarily charged with the abduction, rape, and murder of 8-year-old April Tinsley dating back to 1988. Today, we tracked down one of his only surviving relatives, his brother, who asked to remain unidentified. So you're not going to see his face, or we're not going to share his name, but he talked exclusively to us, gives us a little bit of background about what John Miller was like growing up, the type of person that he is today, and most chillingly, he says now that he has seen those notes that were left at the other scenes several years after April Tinsley's murder, he says that handwriting is definitely his brother's. So, does he want to have anything more to do with him? Is he going to support him throughout all of his court proceedings? You'll find out about that tonight at 5 and 6.
Absolutely. Now, Corinne, something that you said to me that kind of stuck out. What did this brother say? Will he appear in court? Does he prepare to go to court? What did he say to you?
He told me that the only way that he would go to court in any of John Miller's proceedings is if he is subpoenaed to testify. So I'll have more about that tonight.
Yes, absolutely. Now we'll go to you, Jeff. You have a unique perspective. You've been working on this as a reporter since the beginning, since it started. What was it like for you to hear the news and start from there?
Yeah, Sunday afternoon, 12:30, and got the email. Actually, there was a call from the station too, alerting me. I saw the email about the same time, and so yeah, it was a stunning development. I mean, I think no one really could have ever expected that announcement to come, especially out of the blue like that. So everybody, I think, was excited. Then, of course, starts the beehive of activity. Everybody converging on the station and getting ready for the day. Some new stuff today. We talked to April Tinsley's aunt, who showed up at John Miller's first court hearing. She was emotional, and you'll hear from her in my story. Another woman who said she played with April as a child was over at the courthouse with a little sign. We'll show you that sign. She felt compelled to come and take part today in some sense.
Give us a little highlight as to what it was like at the courthouse today, how it was when you were in there.
Well, it was a full room. They intentionally set up the Miller hearing to start right off because they felt like a lot of people had showed up for that particular reason. So they got that out of the way quickly. It was a very brief hearing. But again, I think everybody just wanted to show up, get a look at this guy, see what he looks like. And I think they're just marveling, sort of awestruck that we're at this stage of the case, have moved forward and have gotten to a point that a lot of people wondered if we ever would get to.
Right. Now, for those of us just joining, we are talking with Corinne Rose and Jeff Neumeier about the April Tinsley case. Put in one sentence for them, for those who just missed the beginning of this video, one sentence from both of you on what to look forward to at 5 and 6 for our shows.
Okay, we have the exclusive interview with John Miller's brother. John Miller, of course, the suspect who has allegedly confessed to police 30 years later in the murder and rape and abduction of April Tinsley. So tonight, he says he's only talking to us. You will only hear from him, get an insider's look into what the life and mind of this suspect was like. You'll hear from his brother only here tonight.
And now, Jeff?
An aunt of April Tinsley, a childhood friend, and also a neighbor from growing up in the area where April Tinsley grew up. They all will kind of sound off and give their perspectives on this amazing story.
And also, make sure you guys do tune in because we have exclusive Polaroid photos of the suspect at the time that the brother did give us. So make sure you tune into that at 5 and 6 to make sure you can get a full recap of all the April Tinsley business that we are talking about. The newsroom's cheering for the amazing coverage that we've been having along this case. It's something that nobody expected, but definitely a positive look at the end of the case. So tune in at 5 and 6 from all of us here at the newsroom.
I will say they really have done some really good coverage. Didn't seem like they knew much about the case, to be honest with you, personally, some of the reporters, but they have been covering it really well. All right, so I'm going to get into the videos that they're referring to because they've actually posted those as well. And I'll put the link in the description so you can go on there and read the comments other people are making and so forth. Okay, so let's listen to those right now as well.
Moments ago about sitting down and talking with the brother of the suspect in the case, Tom.
Yeah, that's right. He said he would do only one interview, and that interview was held tonight with our Corinne Rose. Here's her report.
As far as I'm concerned, when they told me that he confessed to this crime, my brother died. I'm done.
The brother of John Miller, the man arrested for the 1988 abduction, rape, and murder of 8-year-old April Tinsley, asked that we not use his name or show his face. He says John stopped by his house at about 7:30 Sunday morning, as usual, to pick up some meals in the Sunday paper. Police arrested him at his Grable trailer about an hour later. The brother rushed there after a neighbor called and said police questioned him for about an hour and a half, and that he willingly gave a cheek swab for a DNA sample.
They asked, have you heard of the April Tinsley murder? And I said, don't tell me he's here for that.
The brother says John was born a little slow and never had a girlfriend. He says John has worked at the Kendallville Walmart for about a dozen years, stocking the electronics department on overnight shifts. He also says in the early 70s, when he was a young teenager, John Miller spent time at Wood Youth Center, then a reform school, but he doesn't know why. His mom told him some information.
I don't know if she knew for fact, but she said he got molested in there. If that happened, maybe that triggered something in him that he thought was all right or something. I don't know.
He says John's always had a temper, but he never imagined he might be involved in this case.
What he did is just sick. I'm done with him. Like I said, his arraignment was today. I didn't go to that, and if they want me for a witness or something in court, they're gonna have to subpoena me or something, because I don't have any intentions of going and seeing him or anything.
The brother says in hindsight he should have picked up on an important detail years ago, but didn't.
The handwriting on the paper that I seen on the news yesterday, that's his handwriting.
He says he's glad their parents didn't live to see this, adding that, like everyone else, they both knew about the Tinsley case. And he says the whole thing makes him sick to his stomach.
Whatever he gets, he deserves. And I just wish he would have got caught a long time ago. He's going to have to pay for what he did.
Even if that's the death penalty?
That little girl died, didn't she?
Corinne Rose, FortWayneNBC.
So that just shows you how hideous the murder is. Even his brother is like, yes, he should have the death penalty. Even though he worded it, well, she died, didn't she? And that's exactly right. Some things that were interesting to me that was said in that interview right there was, let me get the notes out here, that he was slow, right? So he was born a little slow, and he worked stocking electronics in the electronics department at Walmart on the overnight shift. So really, not a high achiever whatsoever, okay? And it also sounds like he may have been molested in some sort of a schooling situation, like a private school. It sounds like he went to almost like a reform school. And he has a bad temper, and that's what the neighbors said as well. And I've heard anecdotal information from coworkers. I can't verify their coworkers, but they said something very similar to that as well. Okay, now let's take a look at the final interview.
First, the suspect in court today, Tom.
Right, the suspect was in court today, and a relative of April's, that's the woman we heard from at the beginning of the show, a friend of April Tinsley's at the time. That's who we heard from at the beginning of the show. She said that she actually played with April on the day of the tragedy. So that's an interesting connection. And a relative of April Tinsley said today, after witnessing the initial court appearance for the alleged killer in this high-profile murder case, that she thought he would be a monster, and when she watched him today, she sort of held those thoughts.
Here's Fort Wayne's NBC reporter Jeff Newmeyer to top off our team coverage.
59-year-old John D. Miller of Grable ushered into a courtroom in the Bud Meeks Justice Center after 9 a.m. for a brief hearing. Miller responded when asked if he read the probable cause affidavit, saying yes in a weak, wavering voice. April Tinsley's aunt was overcome with tears when she sat in court, gazing at her niece's accused murderer.
As soon as I seen him, I just almost couldn't sit there and wait. I mean, I know justice is going to be done, but oh my God, 3 years. Thank God we finally got him.
Using advanced DNA analysis, a California lab narrowed the suspect list to 2 brothers. Detectives staked out Miller's mobile home,
And that's Paraben Nanolabs.
pulled used condoms from his trash, and tested the material, providing a perfect match, they say, to DNA from the crime scene. Miller, during an interview, we're told, confessed to abducting, raping, and suffocating Tinsley inside his Grable home, even though when asked to explain what happened, he replied, "I can't." Pastor Bill McGill came to court to be there for April's family.
Conclusion of this horrific scenario for this family, but God always wins. You know, good always triumphs over evil.
A couple of blocks away outside the county courthouse, a woman who identified herself only as Kim held a sign reading, "He got caught. April Marie Tinsley gets justice." She said she used to play with April as a child.
Goes through your mind, did I see him? Was he looking at us while we were playing? I don't know, something in me just had to be here today.
This park not far from where April Tinsley grew up, you see some balloons strung up in the bushes back there. The arrest, a positive spin on a painful story for this neighborhood.
I'm just glad that it turned out not to be one of our neighbors and that kind of thing. Give us all kind of take a deep breath and have peace.
A news conference on Tuesday could sharpen the picture of how law enforcement made a stunning breakthrough on the local criminal case of our lifetimes. Jeff Newmeyer, Fort Wayne's NBC.
Now let's take a look at what the FBI said in their profile about the killer. I'll put the link of this in the description as well so you can read the details. They got really a little too detailed for my comfort to read to you guys, but I'm just going to go down to the profile portion where they give you what they believe his personal characteristics would be like, not the detailed behavioral stuff that's up here. All right, he'd be a white male, circumcised. That's true. His current age, this article, so let's take a look at the article date. This was 2009, so 9 years ago. All right, so if you look at this, it says current age 40s through 50s. So right now, he is 59. So at the time, he would have been right around 50. So right in between. I mean, he nailed it. Lives and or works in the northeast section of Fort Wayne, Allen County. All right, so here is a map of the crime scene area. Well, when I say crime scene, I mean all of the different locations of the events. The abduction site, all the notes put on bicycles and so forth. And look at this. They nailed it. This is north towards the top and then east to the right. And look where he lived, in the northeast part of that county. It was unbelievable. I mean, the FBI, if you don't believe in profiles, I'm a little skeptical, but this one is so on the money. So he lives and works in the northeast section of Fort Wayne, Allen County. That's exactly where that is. Frequents places where children are likely to be. And I guess there's a playground. Let's take a look at this, near his house. So he's right there. And they were saying that there's like a ball field or park or something near there. Perhaps that's it right there. Yeah, there's a baseball field right there. I think that's what that is. Not really the best shaped one I've ever seen, but it looks like that's what that could be. Yeah, I mean, you see bleachers right there. So I think that's what you have right there. And apparently, kids walk by his house every single day. So they nailed that as well. And they said he's low to median income. If you remember what his brother said, he worked at Walmart and stocked the electronics department at night. That's not going to be a high-paying job. And what was interesting in that video is there's actually a Polaroid shot of the barbarian killer. And that makes me wonder if that's the same camera he used to film himself on the bed in, I believe it was 2004, when he left, I think, 10 Polaroid images on the notes that he left on the bicycles and mailbox. All right, and then we have hair on lower legs. Well, we don't get to see his lower legs, but, you know, we now know he does have hair in his lower legs. In 2004, possibly owned, borrowed a forest green pickup truck having a matching camper shell with dark tinted windows. And what's also amazing is the work that Paraben Nanolabs has done on this case. Let's take a look at how close they were on the eye color. I talked about this on my live last night, but if you are just watching this as a standalone video, you'll be able to see the same thing as well. All right, so here is the Paraben Snapshot or Nanolabs image. And they actually have a description as well on another document. Let me find that. In this image, they actually show the percentages of different characteristics based on his DNA profile. They said that his skin color would be very fair, 98.2%. Eye color would be hazel green, 94.7%. Hair color would be brown. Black would be 97% confident. So right there, see that? It's light, very light sandy brown right there. And then freckles, 63.5% chance. Now let's take a look at the Paraben Snapshot eye color that they gave. I thought this was really interesting. You see, there's the eye color that they have. And now I'm going to open up an image that I was able to download yesterday off the internet. So right here on the eye color, they absolutely nailed it. It looks almost exactly the same. All right, so those are some interesting new details in this case, and I will put the link to these different Facebook pages and articles in the description so you can take a look at them yourself. I've been absolutely amazed at what's been going on using this new DNA technology. 6 cases I've seen so far have been solved, and they're old ones. So I think it's just going to be an avalanche of people that are going to be arrested soon using this technology. All right? So I hope you guys all appreciate that. If you would please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, that would be great. And I really appreciate you watching my videos. I'm really trying to get this information out. April Tinsley's been one of the cases that I've been really focused on. I seem to, it always is in the back of my mind. It's very similar to the Libby and Abby case in Delphi, Indiana, same state. I'm hoping that this technology will be used to solve that case as well. This is an absolutely amazing new tool, and I hope everybody starts using it. All right, so until next time, everybody, be safe out there.